Live from New York. It's your host, Dr. Sherry Mamjara Taal. And joining us today is the lovely Mariam from Tunisia. And that's
Hello.
on the East African side, right? On the East
I'm
African
from the
side.
north.
North. Okay, North.
I'm
Okay.
from the north, yeah.
Okay. Yes, we are live and still getting it together, but we made it. Welcome, viewers, back to the Empowering Change podcast. We're going to do Empowering Change today. We usually do relationships today, but we decided to add a little spice to your life and bring you some more of our empowering change, okay? On the Vitalize Africa channel. So my name is Dr. Sherry Mamjara Tal. I'm your host. We're still trying to get ourselves to look, you know, uh, camera
You look
ready.
stunning. You look stunning, by the way.
Oh, thank you. You look stunning. I'm so happy your husband allowed you to, was okay with you, not allowed you, I'm sorry, okay with you spending a little time with us today, Miriam.
Yeah, okay. No, it's because some weekends we go out of town, so we have no network.
Okay.
That's why I couldn't make it the last Saturdays. That's why sometimes we have to change the day. But today it's like we didn't went out of
Sounds
town.
like, yeah, sounds like your husband likes to disconnect from the world for the weekend. Is
Yeah,
that
every weekend we go camping away from not even no network, nothing sometimes. It's like
that is an
like
adventure?
weekend is for us, so we go there, we disconnect from everything. It's just us time.
Nice. Yes, you guys have the right idea.
Yeah, it's
So,
like the rule.
nice.
Yeah.
So, today we're going to dive into a topic that affects um, a, a lot of every corner of Africa. Okay, it affects all of Africa. And it's the all too familiar classism. So last time we talked about, well, maybe over the summer, we were talking about commitment
Commitment.
and how it's so difficult to, you know, to get people to stay committed to what they promise they're going to do. And you said that's a big problem on the African continent. And it's a big problem I think it's a bigger problem in New York than it is in Texas. I think Texas in America is like the number one state for doing good business. Okay. They have
Mm.
a surplus of, revenue money that they've made in Texas, billions that they have in savings because they do good business.
Yeah.
And, when we do business in Texas, it's like, we give you our word, we can do things right. Even though I don't like you, I'm going to work with you and we're going to get the job done. All right. So getting the job done, it seems to be an issue.
Number one, it should be the priority.
Right.
Like
But
we get
people,
along, we don't get along, the feelings doesn't matter that much, you know.
exactly. My friend yesterday, she's telling me in New York, people come to work, they don't take care of their patients, and they expect to get money at the end of the day. You know, you are given an assignment, you're given money, do what you're supposed to do, stay committed. So, anyway, that was our last topic. Today's topic is classism. And this is deeply ingrained in the societies in Africa, and it's been around for centuries. Okay. So, it's a problem that is far reaching, it has implications in healthcare, education, overall well being of the people. Okay.
First, I have a
So,
question for people who don't know
sure.
classism. What is classism?
Classism is the division of society into distinct social classes. Okay, so you have the haves and the have-nots. Okay, and the have-nots are treated much differently from the people, at the top and that are controlling things. Okay, so how you're going to, live your life will be based on your economic and social status. Okay. So in
Okay.
Africa, this is a big problem.
Defined even who you're gonna marry.
Some people, yeah, they even go as far as that. You're not even going to, have the opportunity to choose people that you love because, your mom's property is next door to, you know, Mr. you know, Mr. B's property, and they want to build their empire. So his daughter, his son and your mom's daughter is gonna get married, whether you
Yeah,
like it or not. But they want to increase their wealth, have security, increase their, their assets, right? So this is what people used to do. People didn't marry for love and,
just
happy ever after. You just
affairs and interests based on
transactional. Yeah. It
yeah,
was
transactional, exactly. Wow. This is
so now we have internet dating, we have, and I think we're going back to that in a way because people are realizing that it's really hard to find love, right?
it's true. But the
Yeah,
thing is, like with classicism, especially, is like we're still living with the old generation, right? So we still might face this problem, I think, because
yeah.
it's like, oh, how dare you marry that girl or that guy from that class, or what does their family have,
Mhm.
or see, or or where are you gonna live? What car he's driving, or it's like still these questions we're
Okay, but
still boarding them, right?
right, but we need to let everyone know classism, it's not inherent to Africa. This
Mm,
was brought to Africa by the colonial people,
I didn't
okay?
know that. Okay,
The colonialists, they brought this to Africa.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
So we're seeing the consequences and right now in Africa and other parts of the world as well. We've seen, somewhere that's really in Africa, but they call it the middle place, that middle place, they came in, right? And they
Mm,
brought some certain, ways of living, okay? And it didn't include the people that were already living there. So the
yeah.
people living there, they're like, wait a minute. We
Even by
want y'all.
enslaving Africans when we were colonized, like in Africa before, by enslaving Africans, they created something like a class that they consider less.
Exactly. So there
So
was
slowly,
lesser
slowly it was, yeah.
slaves that were, rewarded um, because of maybe their complexion, because of their telling on the other people, the other slaves. So, so they were rewarded for certain things if they were to, tell on people, and get them in trouble. So they were the good ones, right? So for a long time, were not considered to be human beings by other human beings, even
Mm,
though, we we have brains, everything, every body part, everything God gave all of us. And then some people are now saying God told them to wipe out some of us. God told them to do this, even though God gave us, this nice brain, body, beauty, whatever we have going on, right? Just like other people, maybe some have a little more, maybe some have a little less, right? However, we're unique. We're we're beautiful creations.
of
But
course.
some people are actually saying God told them to destroy his creation for many, 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 many years. Just keep doing it. Really, some things just don't make sense at the end of the day. Okay.
That's
And
true.
we have to make sure we have competent leaders because classism will continue, wars, violence, people, leaders in, getting people to engage and commit certain acts against each other. There should be a grown up in the room. I would imagine it would be the American president, but no. he's just making it worse, right?
Yeah,
So
true.
yeah, so we have a good example of what is going on in the world before, now, and hopefully not in the future as far as classism goes. Okay, it just wrecks families. It wrecks maybe not families, because families, they don't get it. You know, if you, especially if you're born into that, you're at the higher status. It wrecks communities. It wrecks. I think India even had a thing where
Yeah,
they had a caste system, right? So
so
yeah,
bad. So bad, yeah.
I know.
Especially within the society, it makes people judge each other because someone is a worker working construction, for example, does not make him less than someone who's working in a bank. Does not make
Exactly.
him not clean, does not make him, it's the same. We're all human beings. Everyone is making their best to make a living.
Mhm.
So we do not have to judge people based on what they do for a living, what they're wearing. It does not make sense.
There's been several, you know, people in America who were people that clean the school at night, you know, those people. And when they, you know, transitioned to heaven, they left like $1 million. You know, they worked. So it's not how much you make, it's how much you save. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about
Yeah.
that. And a lot of people, you see them, you're like, oh my God, what does he do for a living? Why he's wearing like that? And you figure out at the end of the day he's rich. He's not even, so stop judging each
Right.
other based on
Right.
what you see.
Right. He doesn't go anywhere, spend money on anything. Me, I get a call from like 5 or 6 people every week. Could I borrow money from you? Could I borrow? I'm like, man, when am I going to ever be able to save my money? It's like, come on, people, you know?
Yeah.
If you're
Not
too
true.
nice, it just never ends. For
Yeah,
me, it never ends.
that's true.
So anyway, and it's like, okay, it's the same people, and they never say, I'll pay you back or even try. Never. you know?
Just
So
thank you,
it's
bye.
like that, Mary.
I said just like you give them the money, he's like, thank you, bye.
I know. Yeah, Bank of Dr. Taal here. So anyway, why is classism, viewers? We do digress. Okay, but we will continue now. So why is classism such a persistent problem in Africa? You might ask, right? Why is it such a persistent problem?
Yes.
Because we haven't gotten this colonial system. We haven't gotten away from that colonial system.
Yeah.
So the legacy of colonialism is the seed of inequality. And to address the issue, we have to understand the roots of this, okay? So classism in Africa can be traced back to the colonial era where the African continent was exploited for its resources, okay? And even the people were considered resources, right? So they were busy taking the people, the gold, the diamonds, the oil, everything, right? And the people were subjected to different forms of discrimination as well. And we know that all too well. So the lasting impact of this colonial era is still evident in the economic disparities that we see, the unequal access to education, to medical care, the unequal distribution of resources, right? And we even see that in America.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I was shocked. They said they want to fight a war. You know, last week they were saying they want to fight a war and they want to send $100 billion overseas to a foreign country. Meanwhile, the people in America are saying, you know, we need to take care of these slums and these poor people that are sleeping on the streets and babies that are starving. And wouldn't you know, if they were to spend
Money could
50
help.
billion dollars,
Yeah.
right? If they were to spend $50 billion on people in poverty in America, there would be no more poverty, right? So, yeah. So, what is it? What's the problem?
Yeah,
Close.
even give them funds so they can give them access to jobs, to
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
Right. If
they
you have a
allow them
hundred
to make the
billion
economy work,
dollars,
right?
right, to spend on bombs and, you know, sending people to heaven, indiscriminately. I mean, there's other ways to go about people who are bad actors. Okay.
Mm.
And America is good at finding people, okay, that are secretly and sending them to heaven secretly, right? And nobody knew, okay? And they can go on with their little espionage, whatever they do, for many, many years. And people are just missing. Where did this person go? We don't know. This is how, so they could have just done things like that instead of shipping a whole, cache full of weapons and bombs and this just weapons of destruction and, you know, and annihilation. Just like pick people off the way y'all used to do it. It worked, and you don't have to say a word. Okay. So now we know they still have the colonial mindset, right? And the lower class are going to keep begging and crying and until we have a collective voice and all come
I
together.
was gonna ask you the question, how do we get out of this? And you started
Well,
the
well, see, like in America, it's hard because there's the middle class, and that middle class, they're comfortable. Okay, they have money on the stock market coming in, and they can say, okay, in 10 years, I'm going to have 500,000 US dollars. I'm going to have $1 million US dollars. So they have no incentive to fight with the people who are living in poverty or
Hmm.
on a lower socioeconomic level, right? They have no incentive to do that. Okay. They have something they can leave for their children: car, house, money, jewelry, whatever, you
Yeah,
know?
even a
Yeah.
pension or something. Yeah.
So why they're in a situation like, why rock the boat? We want to hold on to this. And, we can afford to have dinner out every weekend, and we want to do that's good living. We want to keep doing that. Don't take that away from us. We want to go eat lobster and, uh what do they eat in that's expensive in Tunisia? Tell us, Mary.
Lobster, I think I would say.
They eat lobster, not me. It's a big giant cockroach. So anyway,
What about Africa?
Africa, what
How
do
to
they
go
eat?
out of classicism?
How do they go get out of it?
Yeah. How do we get
Oh,
rid
like
of it?
I said, yeah, just like the other people that are fighting now, they have to, one of their leaders said, y'all should have just engaged in civil disobedience. Okay. And this is how things changed, they said in England back in the days. People just went berserk, collectively, all together. They were like, we're not doing this anymore. And every class just joined and they're like, yeah,
Go
we got to
together.
change it.
Yeah.
Y'all have to go. Mm-mm. So let's all understand, everyone, classism is not an issue that can be solved overnight. It requires dedication, collaboration without everyone joining together in this, okay? And be committed collectively. Here comes commitment again. So we already have a problem with commitment. So
Yeah,
now we're
yeah.
going to
It
be
all goes back to the same thing. Commitment and courage. We need to make, it's like we're not encouraged against revolutions or something, but we need to, as you said earlier, together, one hand against it. Because this is not our culture, this is not something from our heritage. We are the African community is the African that is known with the most, like, so warm, so humble. So it's not like we're not supposed to have classes. It's not us, not ours. It was
no,
brought from outside.
that's right. So, in the medical field, when we go to work, they tell us, please uh leave your degree at the door, okay? Just just be you. Just live, live good. Just, yeah, why do we have to say, well, I have this much and they don't, so I'm better? When I went to nursing school, I had a friend like that. She was like my best friend, and she was from Nigeria. And we graduated together, we studied together, we passed, we did everything together. And then she opened up an agency, a nursing agency, and she got really rich. The first year she made like, $500,000, right? And do you think she would say, you're my good friend, we've been friends for so long, come and let me help you to do it, or join me in it? Or nope. The next thing I know, she was telling me, come on and look at what I have. And she was showing me her fabulous office. And she was just, telling me all the new things she got. And that's when I knew we were no longer friends. She was in another class, and I was now in a lower class. And we weren't the same friends again, type of friends. We didn't have the same friendship again. So that was my first experience with classism. And of course, it was someone from the motherland, from the African continent, that taught me that lesson. But I don't practice that. And I didn't recognize people do that. And, we're all different. So we don't all think alike. And yeah, some people are just wired a certain way. And I'm wired a way where, together we can do better, make a difference. And they say there's strength in numbers. So how do we become stronger? We have to work together, collaborate, to make change and raise our collective voices. Yeah. This way we can have more inclusiveness and equitable things, equitable changes, okay, in Africa. So, Mariam, what is your final words before we wrap up?
Let's take together as a community what does not belong to us. Like, we should not take it. We can leave it away. The African culture is not supposed to be based on classism. We are one community. We've been always one community, helping one another, and it should always be the same way. So I think this episode might help some people do it without even knowing that they're doing it, So please, if you noticed, we're pointing at a problem here. So together we can make a change. And yeah, everything is slowly, step by step, right? Baby steps. We are doing the baby steps now. What about you, doctor?
Oh, we have to do giant leaps. We're done with the baby steps. Okay. We just have to kick the door down, and we're grown now. We're mature. We're grown. We are grown folks, and we are going to shout it from the rooftops, the hills, everywhere. Okay. So viewers, you can see we are freedom fighters, aren't we? Well, I am. So this has been another wonderful episode of the Empowering Change podcast here on the Vitalize Africa channel. And where can people find this, Mariam?
Well, they can find this on YouTube. They can find some reels on Instagram. They're gonna find some shorts too about what we're talking about. And all the videos are gonna lead to this live on YouTube. So please subscribe. And
Press that like button.
Video. Even if you see some hints here and there, click on the link and watch the video. It's gonna be it's gonna help a lot.
Yes, thank you, viewers. So, do we have a guest for the Empowering Change podcast tomorrow?
Yes, indeed. Tomorrow we have a guest. He is the founder of a foundation, international foundation, Carifica. And watch the episode tomorrow. It's gonna be very, 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 very interesting. You have no idea how much this man is very interesting. and he's done a lot, and he's still doing a lot in Africa and for the African community. So join the tomorrow episode. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to burn anything. Just keep quiet till tomorrow.
We trust you. So the only change is that we're going to be on live at 10 p.m. instead of 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Sunday tomorrow. So
Have fun,
yes.
viewers, tomorrow. Enjoy the episode.
Yeah. So stay tuned for more thought-provoking discussions and solutions. And together we can face these challenges on our beloved continent and, empower change. So until next time, please stay happy, healthy,